Once upon a time, there was a very ill-tempered queen, living in a great and magnificent kingdom. Then one night the queen fell into a very restless sleep. In her dream, a mysterious woman appeared. "You have to be a kind-hearted person, otherwise you'll be alone." The queen didn't pay much attention to the dream. The next morning, while the queen was walking around her palace, she discovered a secret room that she had never noticed before. She went inside curiously and found a gold necklace lying inside. The queen was captivated by the necklace's magnificence. She immediately put it around her neck, but no matter how long she waited, the necklace did not shine. How is this possible? How can a necklace this precious not start shining like the sun? The queen decided to go to the wizard. The wizard listened to the queen attentively. "This necklace only shines when kind-hearted people wear it. You have to learn how to be kind." The queen didn't want to believe what the wizard said, so she came up with other ways to make the necklace shine. She collected all of the precious stones in the palace and prepared various different potions. But with each attempt, the necklace only got darker. As the days passed by, she gave up and decided to try what the wizard suggested. She wanted to do 3 good deeds in the palace. The first thing she did was tell the oldest maid in the palace to appear before her. The maid was afraid but answered the summons anyway. "Oh, my queen, have I made a mistake without realizing it? I heard that you've been having a hard time lately, so I'm going to give you a few days off to rest." The maid was surprised and showed her gratitude to the queen and left the room. And then the necklace around the queen's neck started shining slightly. The queen then called the gardener of the palace. The gardener meticulously cultivated the queen's flowers every single day, but never received any appreciation. "Thank you for all of the beautiful flowers in the garden. Your work is really valuable to me." The gardener was very happy with the words the queen had said to him, and then the necklace shone a little brighter. For her third act of kindness, the queen called the chef of the palace. Realizing that the chef was in a very difficult position, the queen gave him a bag of gold. "I'm giving you these coins to take some of the weight off your shoulders and to help you support your family." The chef burst into tears at this act of kindness. At that moment, the necklace around the queen started shining more brightly than it had before. When the queen looked in the mirror, she was amazed by how shiny the necklace was. The king was surprised by the change in the queen and decided to take breakfast to his wife on that day. No one in the palace could take their eyes off the queen or her necklace. "My necklace is shining! Look, everyone admires me! Everybody loves me so much now!" The queen was so amazed by how shiny her necklace was that she began to clean it by scrubbing it harder with every good deed she did. But then, one day while she was cleaning the necklace, the stone suddenly broke in 2 fragments. The queen wept as her heart shattered. "Oh, my necklace is broken. No one will love me anymore." But her subjects didn't stop treating her well. "But why? My necklace doesn't shine anymore. Why are you all being so nice to me?" The employees of the palace answered in unison. "My queen, you've become a wonderful person. Not only does your necklace shine, but your heart shines as well." And right at that moment, the queen realized that the love people had been showing her was not because of the necklace that was shiny. Rather, they showed her love because she was a good person. And because of that, the queen became a truly good person and started learning how to shine without the necklace. One day, while the beautiful Rapunzel was taking a pleasant walk through the forest, she encountered one of the 7 dwarfs. "What are you doing out here?" she said to the dwarf. And the happy dwarf told her that he would make a necklace out of bird feathers for Snow White for her birthday and invited Rapunzel to the party that evening. Flattered, Rapunzel liked this idea very much. While the other 2 of them were collecting bird feathers together, They were sadly unaware that the evil queen, Hela, was watching them with her crystal ball. The evil queen was incredibly jealous of Snow White's beauty, so she had been waiting for a chance to hurt her for a long time.
So bird feathers, huh?
Then Queen Hela plucked a feather from the bird that landed on her windowsill. She went to her workshop and made a beautiful necklace.
Where did I put the spider potion? It's here.
She took the potion from the shelf behind her and put some on the necklace. In the meantime, the dwarf named Doc was blowing up balloons for the party, and the happy dwarf was putting the cake on the table. And the princess was very happy when she saw what had been prepared for her. When it came time to give gifts, they heard knock, knock, knock. Suddenly at the door of the hut, when Snow White opened the door, she saw an old lady standing there.
My beautiful girl, I'm starving. If you have any food to spare, can you share it with me?
And dear Snow White could not say no to her and invited the old lady in. Rapunzel got the feeling that there was something strange about this old lady. While they carried on with the fun of the party, the old woman quickly replaced the necklace box with one of her own without anyone noticing what she had done. The happy dwarf very happily put the feather necklace around Snow White's neck. At that moment, the bird feather turned into long spider webs and covered Snow White all over her body. The old woman that everyone felt sorry for suddenly turned into the evil Queen Hela. My plan has finally worked.
Please help me!
Seeing Snow White, terrified and trying to break free from the webs, Rapunzel cut the webs in one smooth move with a knife on the table. The feather fell on the ground. She picked it up and pressed it to Hela's chest.
No, please don't do that! Please don't do that!
The evil queen suddenly transformed into a huge spider. Rapunzel, with the help of Doc the dwarf, locked the spider in the closet. Snow White and the 7 dwarves were impressed by how much courage Rapunzel had shown.
If you hadn't have been there, then what would we have done, Rapunzel?
The happy dwarf and Doc the dwarf said, "You truly are a real hero," and said thank you to Rapunzel. Nobody knew if the evil queen could get out of the situation she was in now. But all thanks to Rapunzel, Snow White and the dwarves understood how important having courage and being fearless are when it comes to protecting a person's friends.
Hours before the full moon that day, the evil witch Rosa excitedly took the wish necklace in her hand. She stood by the window and looked up at the sky, because only a few hours later, she was going to be able to make her wish. When the full moon comes tonight, I will be the most powerful witch in the whole country. Meanwhile, the beloved princess of the country, Beauty, and Prince Richard set off on a dangerous journey with their horses to take back the magic necklace.
We must hurry, Princess. We must reach the castle before the full moon.
As Beauty and Prince Richard walked through the dark forest, a white fog covered the entire forest. Because of the fog, neither the prince nor Beauty could see around. The horse they were riding turned off the road and ran into the depths of the forest in a hurry.
Prince, where are we going like this? Nothing is visible.
A snake crawled out of the trees. When the snake got around the horse's feet, the horse reared up in fear. So much so that he almost knocked the prince and princess off.
Calm down! Hey! Stop! Stop!
But the horse was not calmed by the words of the prince. In the end, he threw the prince and princess off his back in one move. The horse slammed his hooves and disappeared into the fog. Prince Richard and Beauty stared after their horses. They couldn't continue on their way when the dark forest was in the fog.
In that state, we'll never find Rosa's castle, my prince. What are we going to do?
However, time was running fast. The full moon was almost complete through the fog. Soon, the bushes beside them began to rustle.
Hey, who's there?
You can't scare us!
Beauty noticed a fluffy black and white tail close by. Just as she was about to reach out and touch her hand, a skunk jumped on her.
Huh? Don't touch my tail. Tell me, what are you looking for in this dark forest? A skunk? No! We have to stuff our noses! Why, no! I only admit a foul odor to the wicked. Huh!
Prince Richard and Beauty breathed a sigh of relief.
Dear skunk, we have to go to the palace where the witch Rosa lives. But we lost our way because of the fog. Can you help us?
The skunk began to tremble with fear as he heard the name of the witch Rosa. He hid in the bushes and stuck his head out curiously.
Oh, Witch Rosa! But she's so dangerous!
Beauty and Prince Richard told the skunk what had happened to them and the magic necklace.
So if we can't get there before the full moon, Witch Rosa will be more powerful and even worse!
So the little skunk agreed to help them. The skunk found the paths to the castle with such dexterity that Beauty and Richard followed him in amazement.
Here we are, the castle of the Witch Rosa. I won't go inside, but I'll wait for you here.
Beauty and Prince Richard were just about to enter the castle when a white light hit them. This was the light of the completed full moon.
No! Full moon!
At that moment, the ugly witch Rosa appeared at the window. She lifted her wish necklace towards the full moon and imprisoned all the light of the full moon. The stars went out one by one, and the moon looked like a rock to them. Oh, wish necklace! Bless me with the light of the full moon. I wish you to make me the most powerful and evil witch in the country. As soon as the witch Rosa made her wish, the lights trapped in the necklace surrounded her. Beauty and the prince, who were watching with amazement, hid in fear. Rosa has turned into a much more beautiful and powerful witch than ever before. Now her eyes could see more sharply, and she could smell better. I know you are here, but you're late! Before long, the witch Rosa wished that Beauty and Prince Richard were trapped in the cellar. Both of them disappeared with a bang in their hiding place. The skunk was surprised by what happened.
Oops, I'd better help them.
He quickly dug a hole on the edge of the castle. Gradually, he suddenly found himself in the hall of the witch Rosa.
Ah, it smells worse than me in here.
The little skunk saw the necklace they were talking about on the table. He was about to take the necklace, but then the witch Rosa noticed him. What are you doing in my castle, you filthy thing? Get out of here right now! Out! Out! At that moment, the skunk quickly stamped his feet. Then, the famous bad smell of the skunk was all over the place. Ah, what a disgusting smell! Just as the witch Rosa was about to catch him, she passed out under the influence of the smell. Taking this opportunity, the skunk took the necklace and went down to the cellar of the castle. Skunk? With his tiny body, the skunk passed through the bars and handed the wish necklace to Beauty. Beauty and Prince Richard were delighted by the skunk's bold move. Beauty immediately put the necklace around her neck and listed her wishes.
I wish all three of us would get out of here. And the witch Rosa, should turn into a mouse, dear Wish Necklace.
As soon as she made her wish, they found themselves safely in the palace.
Dear Skunk, we would never have survived without you. Do you want to live with us in this great palace as our best friend from now on?
The skunk enthusiastically accepted this offer of beauty. Because for the first time in his life, he felt that helping each other and having a warm home was a good feeling. On the other hand, Rosa, the witch who had turned into a mouse, seemed to go crazy the moment she saw herself in the mirror.
What's that? Help!
Unaware of everything, her sluggish cat Mir has been running after the mouse all night.
I am your owner! I'm your best friend, of course! Let me go, Mir! Leave!
In a land far, far away, there was a monster living in the middle of the desert. Moreover, he was only fed with fresh soil, newly greened plants and seeds. A little far from the desert, there was a kingdom he had not yet discovered and had not gone and eaten its soil. The king and the queen of this kingdom did not have children, and they were very sad because of this. When the queen couldn't sleep one night, she sneaked out of the palace. She wandered around the desert. Although the desert monster noticed her, he did not go near her and did not harm her, because all he wanted was to eat all the plants and fresh soil in the world. At that moment, a star fell in the sky and left a green trail behind it. Seeing the falling star, the queen immediately made a wish. Oh, I wish I had a daughter so I could hug her and raise her with love. At that moment, a star fairy appeared in front of the queen. Oh, You are a fairy! I cannot believe my eyes! Yes, dear queen, I heard your wish and came to your presence. If you want to have a child, wander through this desert for 7 days and nights. The magic of the stars will surprise you. The queen did indeed wander through the desert for 7 days and nights, listening to the words of the star fairy. The king, on the other hand, thought that the queen, who had not returned to the palace for days, was lost, and he was devastated. At the end of her 7th day in the desert, just as she was in despair, the queen heard a cry. The queen moved toward the direction the voice came from. She saw a tiny baby crying on the sand. She immediately took her in her arms and returned to the palace. The king was very happy when he saw the queen safe and sound days later, and the cute baby she was carrying in her arms increased his happiness even more. They named that little baby the Earth Princess. Years passed. The Earth Princess grew up and became a very beautiful girl. Her favorite thing since she was a baby was playing with sand. If she drew a butterfly in the sand, the butterflies turned into reality and flew around her. Or if she drew a flower, it turned into a real flower and smelled amazing. The only person who realized that the Earth Princess had a magical power was her father, the king. But he didn't tell anyone about her power so that no harm would come to her. One day, when the people were planting new crops, the nose of the desert monster caught a sharp smell. He soon realized it was the smell of fresh soil. When he thought of the delicious saplings and seeds he would eat, he could not resist and quickly started to move towards the direction of the smell. Meanwhile, the people in the kingdom noticed that the ground was starting to shake. this an earthquake?
This is something else?
Noticing the ground shaking, the king and the queen also rushed out of the palace balcony and saw the desert monster far away under the ground moving towards the kingdom.
Oh no! I thought he was a myth!
This is very bad. The myth is becoming true. The king immediately ordered his soldiers to stop the desert monster. The soldiers took cover at the gates of the kingdom. But the desert monster was so big and scary that many of the soldiers thought they could not defeat him. When the desert monster approached to the kingdom, he caught the soldiers one by one and threw them in the desert.
No! Help! Help! No! My soldiers! Our land!
Seeing this, the people stopped cultivating the land and began to flee to save their lives. The monster continued to eat every sapling, every fresh greenery he saw. While the people did not know what to do out of sadness and fear, the king came out of his palace with all his might. The Earth Princess followed him too.
My princess, my beautiful daughter, stay in the palace with your mother. I don't want him to hurt you.
No, Daddy. You know I can beat him. I can save our kingdom, our land. The king did not want his only daughter, the Earth Princess, to come face to face with the desert monster. So he left her behind, took up his sword, and rushed towards the monster that was eating the fertile land. He tried to stop him, but failed. Just as the desert monster was about to grab the king and throw him into the desert, the Earth Princess could not stand it any longer and drew a shield on the sand. This shield has been magically made real. The Earth Princess protected herself with that shield and ran towards the desert monster. Even though the desert monster threw sand at the princess, he couldn't stop her. The Earth Princess immediately bent down and drew a large bucket in the sand. The bucket was made real. With her magical power, the princess lifted this bucket and threw it at the desert monster. The bucket got on the desert monster's head and got stuck there. Thus, the monster could not see ahead and he could no longer eat the fertile land. At that time, the Earth Princess gathered all her attention and created a desert tornado to drive the monster away from the kingdom. This tornado was so big and strong that it engulfed the monster in an instant and carried him far from the kingdom. The people who watched what was happening were both in great astonishment and happiness. The Earth Princess was exhausted from the magic she used. Father King immediately ran to her and hugged her.
You saved our lives, our land, our kingdom! Long live Earth Princess!
From that day on, the Earth Princess protected all the lands of the kingdom with her courage forever. Because without soil, there would be no life, and the Earth Princess knew it best.